Hey everyone. So thank you for joining me today. So today's video is going to be probably a little bit longer because I'm doing voice and um, the project all at the same time. Okay. So I have my cutter out because I know I'm going to do one card using this craft colored paper. And remember, we did our Merry and Bright. And that's what we're doing cards about today. I'm going to put it up here with the other part. And then I've trimmed this white piece to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then we're going to cut this piece down to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to put this at 5 1/4 first. My trick for anybody who has a hard time cutting things, start with your biggest cut. Okay. So if I go to cut the 4 inches and I mess up, that doesn't leave me in a room to recover, right? But if I mess up on um, my longer size, the other direction is still long enough that I could still potentially get the right size and still shorten this size if necessary, if that makes sense. So, like right now, I'm doing 5 1/4 trim. Now on this side, we're going to bring it to 4 inches. But if I had cut this side wrong, I could always just put it back to the correct size, cut again, and I would have the length to be able to save my piece of paper and not go, oh crap, I just wasted, is what I'm trying to say. So we got 4 by 5 1/4. And this is actually from, I want to show you, I was going to do two, but this is from Paradise Plaid from Catherine Pooler. And I like the dark red. I felt like that was very Christmassy without it being overly Christmassy, you know? All right. So the first card is going to be super simple. So that's why we're going to go ahead and get it done. So then that way, we can spend the rest of the time working on our second card because the second card is going to be more involved. But I just wanted to show you guys options on what you could do for your cards. So on here, we're going to score at 4 1/4. On this particular board, it has a little star. You just line up on that star. And if your paper is a little bit on the thicker side, I just do on both. So then that way, it's usually easier to fold over. And then I'll even turn it inside out and do it again. Okay. So let's do this real quick. So when it comes to stuff like this, it's very simple. This would be a good one that you could mass produce if that's what you were trying to do, only because there's not a whole lot to do with the card base. The longest part is decorating the Merry and then cutting out all of your and brights. But just remember, you don't have to cut those out. You could always just stamp them too, right? So depending on what paper you use, you get you some gold ink, or you can emboss it right on the paper here, and you could put your Merry down and then and Bright and just stamp it. It's up to you. So let's do this again. Now, if you, where did I put my? This is the thing. I constantly be moving stuff. There it is. I be trying to make sure my desk looks presentable for you guys, and I always wind up moving. All right. So now, just made our edges nice and neat. And now we're going to attach this. So I like doing this so that way you guys can see, like, you can either make it truly simple or you can take it to another level, which is what we're going to do with our second card. Okay, let me readjust, which is what that glue gives us, that little bit of time to where we can move things and make sure it's nice and even. Well, actually, that part wasn't even. Let's try it again, Sam. Okay. Here, they look like they're a little even. That's better. That's better. So now we could either do it this way, right? Like a normal card, or we can do it long ways. It's up to us. So if we wanted to do the Mary like this, and then I was thinking Anne Bright, we could do it like that. Or we could do it long ways and do Mary Ann Bright. I like it long ways. All right, so let's do this. I'm actually going to grab my foam squares, which I put somewhere, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. I got another one in the container. I got a partial one here somewhere, but we'll be all right. So let's use these bigger ones. Okay. And we'll cut these down some for the Y and the M. So, and the M. There we go. And then that way that gives us some height off of the pattern paper. And it doesn't have to go down here on the bottom. It's a card. It's, you don't have to worry about it as much. But even still, with this type of foam on it, I probably would be a hand delivered one because I wouldn't want it to get smushed and being mailed. Okay. All right. There's the Mary. And then we're just going to put a little bit of glue. I'm not going to put foam on these because these are way too tiny. But the precision glue definitely helps with gluing these smaller pieces. I love that about the glue press. So here we go. Mary Ann Bright. Now, you could leave it here, but that's not what we do. It is not what we do. So I'm going to try and block my papers with my glue there. And let's see if we can hit this up with some gold. Because we got so much red on the background, I'm not going to do the red splatter. I think I'm just going to do gold and green. Gold and green. All right. And then we'll hold it up again. And you can see the green. You'll see the green better once it's dry. So I'm going to put it to the side so we can get started on the next card. Actually, let me put it up here. And then I'm going to get this. And we're going to just wipe this down real quick. Okay, because we're going to get a little messy. All right. So for the next card, we're going to go ahead and get it scored. And for this one, we're going to do more tone on tone as far as we're using the same craft color for our accent piece, I guess you could say. So let me just make sure that's nice and folded. And we're going to use not that. I think we're still going to do it this way, long ways. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some Pixie spray, okay? And we're going to put this on our front piece, basically like this. It should look like a sweater, right? Actually, this is the sticky side. Okay. I can feel a little bit of the tackiness from the last time I used it. So just bear with me. Okay. All right. We're going to let this dry a little bit. This is going to be fun. And we're going to wind up using Strawberry Pie for our ink color. And I got a blender brush that we're going to be using for that. And then this part is going to be the surprise. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Okay, so you just want it to get tacky. And then we're going to go ahead and definitely want the hearts. Okay, so we're going to go like that. So it's nice and flat. And let's open up our case. Now, I know you guys saw the video. I had a hard time opening these. I definitely suggest when you get them to take your time, but I did have to use scissors to kind of pop some of these open. Now, remember, this is also going to look different because it's on craft color paper. So it's not like the color is going to be like super vibrant. And you just make your colors. And I thought about just doing straight to the paper with like the red glitter paste, which I have on the side. But I was like, I want to use the inks. I showed them in a video just this past weekend. I was like, and I haven't used them yet. I want to see. They're inky, but they're not like super juicy. That's the one thing with the felt pads. The foam, they hold a lot of that ink. You just keep adding the ink layers until you get to the intensity of color that you are wanting, basically. So I like how it's darker up here at the top, but I'm going to come back down here at the bottom and add some more color. And you just keep doing it until you get, like I said, to the desired color of your choice, okay? Now, what I like to do here is because of what I'm going to do next. This isn't wet. I'm just going to, as best I can, kind of get the color off the top of the stencil, right? Because I don't want a whole lot of color mixing in with what I'm about to do. And we'll clean, this later. All right, so now I have on my desk here, I'm trying to save some stuff before it falls. I have the clear glimmer paste, okay? And with the clear, it's going to dry and you'll have the color that we just put down that will show through. All right, let's see. Is this, some of it's wet. We'll try it. Let's see. We'll see if this will work because it might have dried out too much, but I think some of it is wet enough that it may work. All right. And you just spread it on just like it's icing, basically. And I'm just trying to get down in here in the bottom where it's still, it hasn't like really dried out. And we're just spreading it. And because of the way it's feeling as I'm putting it on, I'm not going to save this jar. I think it's pretty much, this is the end. And sometimes you have to know when to let it go. And this is why it's important too, because I'm going to hold it up. Do you see how this now has a pinky tone? You wouldn't want to mix that in normally. But like I said, I'm getting ready to throw this jar out. So it being right there isn't going to be a problem. I just want to grab a little bit more for this part right up in here. Come straight down. So that way it's nice and smooth. All right. C'est la vie. All right. And now this, we're going to pull apart. All right. And there's the background. Now, of course, this is technically still wet. Okay. So we're going to let this dry. We're going to set it to the side. Okay. And let it do its thing. And I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then we'll be right back to finish putting the card together. Okay, so now we're back, and here's the thing. I think that this was just way too dried out. Even the parts that were kind of wet, they dried, but it's hard to explain. It's like it's sitting on top. Normally it would dry more clear and you would see just really the color with the gel or the glitter, right? So I'm going to trash this one. I'm not going to do the card front with it. So what I decided to do, instead of using the strawberry pie, I grabbed the festive berries because it's a much stronger reddish color on the craft cardstock, because with darker colored paper oxides, that's how they shine, because you get nice vibrant color. So we're going to go ahead and move forward, get this put together, and hopefully I can get some more clear paste, and I'll be able to show you guys that process again. I know I've done it before on my channel, but I just wanted to just show you an option for a background if you don't have like a particular paper that you wanted to use and you wanted to create your own backgrounds, that you could. And this one has already been cut down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. So when we put this down, it's going to have a nice size border on all 4 sides. Come on, work with me here. All right. And I'm going to grab my block. And while we're waiting, we're going to put the foam on the back of our Mary. And then we'll take the one and cut it in half like we did on the last one. Oop. That's one way. All right, so we'll put our piece of foam here. We're going to put this one here. All right. Take the backings off and just hit it with a little bit of glue. It doesn't have to be like oversaturated. You just want a little bit to help just make sure your foam stays. And then this, we're going to move. And we're going to put the Mary like here in the center. And you can do the same thing. Put the block on it. Get our and ready. And I kind of like it a little in between the different layers there. And then we'll put our bright. We're going to put it there. So Merry and Bright. Fun. All right. And then it's going to be splatter time again. We're going to hit it with the green, just like we did on the last one. And we'll hit it with the gold. And with that, that is our card. So let's do this. We're going to just move everything to the side. Ooh, lift this up. Wipe around. So we have, oh, I guess I should hold this one up so you can see it. So there you go. You got gold and the green. Now on this one, because it's just regular cardstock, it dries a little bit quicker because it gets soaked right into the fibers of the paper. And then we'll bring back over this Mary with the paper. So 2 cards with the same sentiments done 2 different ways, using a stencil or just using your pattern paper. And you get a really beautiful card for the holidays. So this is another Merry Christmas or, Happy Holidays card that's going to get me ready for this season coming. So I'm excited about that. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you with our next video, which will be on Friday. I don't know if it's going to be a layout or a card, but we will have another video this Friday coming, okay? Thanks again, and y'all have a great one. Bye.